In the 19th century, whaling ports like New Bedford were the epicenters of a global industry. Whale oil, used for lighting and lubrication, was more valuable than petroleum. These ports bustled with activity as ships prepared for voyages that could last years. The wooden vessels, loaded with harpoons and barrels, represented both economic opportunity and the beginning of an ecological tragedy. Over 300 whaling ships operated from this port alone at its peak. Whaling voyages were among the most dangerous maritime endeavors. Ships like the Essex regularly faced 3 to 4 year journeys covering 30,000 miles. Crews of 20 to 30 men, including many inexperienced hands, faced starvation, disease, and the constant threat of shipwreck. The whaling industry employed nearly 70,000 sailors at its peak, drawn by the promise of shares in the catch, though most earned less than $25 for years of dangerous work. Spotting a whale required extraordinary skill. Lookouts would scan for the blow, the whale's exhalation reaching 20 feet high. The sperm whale, prized for its superior oil, could dive for 90 minutes and reach depths of 3,280 feet. A single large whale could yield 3,000 gallons of oil, worth about $1,500 in 1850, nearly $50,000 today. This made each sighting a potential fortune waiting to be harvested. Harpooning was brutally dangerous work. Hand-thrown harpoons had only 30 to 40% success rates. The explosive harpoon, invented in 1870, increased kills but made deaths more agonizing. A struck whale could dive suddenly, dragging boats at speeds up to 23 miles per hour in Nantucket sleigh rides. About 1 in 5 whaling voyages experienced fatal accidents, with harpooners facing the highest mortality rates of any 19th century profession. A wounded whale could fight for hours. The famous Mocha Dick whale reportedly destroyed 20 boats before being killed. Whales often attacked ships directly. The Essex was sunk by a sperm whale in 1820, inspiring Moby Dick. The average chase lasted 4 to 6 hours, with crews exhausting their strength against creatures that could weigh 50 tons. This prolonged suffering would later become a major point of controversy for the industry. The final kill was both triumphant and gruesome. Lances would pierce the whale's lungs, causing it to drown in its own blood. A large sperm whale's death could release 500 gallons of blood, turning the sea red for acres. The average whaling voyage killed 25 to 40 whales, with global catches peaking at nearly 10,000 whales annually in the 1850s. This level of hunting would eventually devastate whale populations worldwide. Processing a whale was an around-the-clock operation. Crews would strip the blubber in spiral cuts, a technique called flensing. The blubber was then boiled in giant trypots to extract oil. A large whale could yield 40 barrels of oil, with the highest quality spermaceti reserved for fine candles. The smell was unbearable. Crews described it as a slaughterhouse dipped in rotten fish, attracting sharks by the hundreds. Successful voyages could make fortunes. The 1853 voyage of the Charles W. Morgan returned with 59,549 gallons of oil, worth $56,000. But many returned with half-empty holds after years at sea. Crew mortality rates approached 20% on longer voyages from disease and accidents. By the 1870s, overhunting had made such hauls increasingly rare, signaling the industry's impending decline as petroleum replaced whale oil. At port, the oil was graded and sold. Top-quality sperm oil fetched $1.77 gallon in 1855, about $60 today. A single voyage could earn investors 300% returns, but the human cost was staggering. Between 1840 to 1870, over 4,000 whalemen died at sea. The industry also transformed coastal ecology. New Bedford's waters became so polluted with whale remains that the harbor's floor was literally paved with bones. Whale oil lit the Industrial Revolution, but at terrible cost. Global whale populations declined by 90% by 1900. The 1946 International Whaling Commission finally imposed regulations, but not before several species neared extinction. Today, whale oil is obsolete, replaced by petroleum and electricity. But the industry's legacy remains, in literature like Moby Dick, in ecological damage, and in ongoing debates about humanity's relationship with nature.